Hello, welcome to another Becoming a Modern Man. We are playing Scapeshift once again, and this time we are running up against Blue-Green Evolve, which is a deck I'm sort of aware of, but I haven't run into it a lot, it has to be said. This is our opening hand. Obviously we haven't got a ton of ramp, but we have got the turn 1 search for tomorrow, so I'm fairly happy with that. I think we'll keep this. Certainly in the dark seems like a reasonable hand. Hopefully we'll draw into a bit more ramp. Building an island. Passes a turn. Second island. And yeah, our opponent's telling us that this isn't really what his deck's supposed to do. He's green-blue evolve, so for whatever reason he's drawn just islands, which is making his life quite difficult. So that's obviously plays into our hands quite well. And so we're not taking any pressure at the moment. And we're up to 4 lands. We haven't really drawn anything exciting, but all we really need to do is keep hitting our land drops. To get there, we draw Sakura Tribuilder. Opponent finally finds a forest and plays Experiment 1, followed by a Young Wolf, which is fine. It's going to attack with Experiment 1. We're just going to block and sack the Tribuilder, because we're now going to be up to 6 mana. And we're going to look at playing this Primeval Titan. So we drop Primeval Titan, getting a Valakut. Actually, no, 2 Valakuts, because we haven't actually played land yet this turn. So I get 2 Valakuts, and I'm going to play this Cinderglade out for 2 activations, which works out nicely. I think I choose to kill Experiment 1 and then do 3 to our opponent's face. Just because the Experiment 1's the most likely to get out of a hand at the minute. He's probably not going to be able to do a whole lot about it. Yeah, he blows up our Primeval Titan with the Rapid Hybridization. So yeah, in case you're not familiar with this deck, sorry, I haven't really explained it. So basically it plays Evolve creatures, Experiment 1 and Cloudfin Raptor, along with it Undying creatures, and then Rapid Hybridization, easy for me to say, and Pongify, which both do the same thing, basically destroy a creature and put a 3/3 Frog Lizard or another, I think it's an Ape of Pongify. 3/3 token into play. Basically with the Undying triggers first, so if he targeted the Young Wolf would die, come back as a 2/2, evolve the Experiment 1, and then you get the 3/3 token, so you would get the second evolve trigger on the Experiment 1 off the token. So basically you get to double evolve if you blow up your own creature, your own Undying creature with an evolved creature in play. Which can be pretty powerful, particularly given that all these cards are obviously very cheap. But I'm sure you'll see it more in action shortly. So opponent plays another Experiment 1, no attacks. We draw into we draw into another Valakut, so we can do some fairly stupid stuff at this point. I'm going to summon this Pact and get the Primeval Titan, and our opponent concedes on that, obviously seeing the writing on the wall. Yeah, I guess we would have probably played Valakut, explored, played another actually no, we could have Primeval Titan. No, it's just so many possibilities. I suppose we would play the Valakut, play the Primeval Titan, get the 4th Valakut and a mountain, and you get 4 triggers of the Valakut. And then we can just explore into the Stomping Ground, and that would kill our opponent. But I'm sure there's several ways we could get the kill here. But yeah, we are definitely far and away. Our opponent's certainly struggled in this game 1, and just gave us a lot of time. So we were able to set up and win the game fairly easily from there. Okay, so we're with the sideboard against Green-Blue Evolve. So I guess we want the relics in. Obviously that can prevent Undying from occurring. So I guess we bring those in, and Anger of the Gods obviously very good as well. So yeah, definitely want to bring in Anger of the Gods. Relic also seems good. Graph Digger's Cages, how does that work? Griffiths and libraries can't enter the battlefield. Place can't spells. Okay, so we can play Graph Digger's Cage as well, as I believe that stops them dying from the wording. So those are all options for us. Otherwise, we haven't got a ton more to do. I suppose we could play Obstinate Bath as well. Just a good roadblock against their deck. So those are all good options for us. In terms of what we want to take out, definitely want our Sweltering Suns in. Lightning Bolt is perhaps not quite so good, but at the same time, we are like threatening. They are a sort of small creature deck, so possibly want to keep those in. I think the main cards to take out, probably looking at taking out Prismatic Omen, maybe the Expedition. Obviously, we don't want to water down our combo too much, so it's kind of tricky sideboarding with this deck. Yeah, I think we want some number of relics and probably the Anger of Gods. We probably want to take out Prismatic Omens and I think possibly the Expedition. That's 4 cards for 3 relics and an Anger of the Gods. I think that's probably how I'd go about it. Not sure about Baloth. Might be worthwhile, but I don't want to cut too many cards. But maybe Baloth over the Relic is better. Maybe Relic's not the best. Not sure how this match entirely plays out, but because I haven't played it enough. But yeah, maybe Baloth is better. I think Relic seems good though, so I'm not sure between those two. But yeah, some combination of Relic, Obstinate Baloth and Anger of the Gods sounds good to me, yeah, I think that's probably how we would want to sideboard in this game. Okay, so we're back with game 2. This hand is, yeah, pretty good. Want to ramp, and we've got Scapeshift, and we've got Sweltering Suns that we can kill off our opponent's creatures with, so fairly happy with this. So opponent attacks this for 1, plays an Experiment 1, but Stomping Ground, Farsi here. Fetching up into the Stomping Ground. Usually fetch up Stomping Ground because obviously if you draw them, then if you want them to go into play untapped, you have to pay 2 life. So that's generally what I do. I suppose, yeah, I feel like that's the best thing to do. At least to get us beat down anyway, I think is the best thing to do is to try and fetch up your Stomping Grounds. Attacks for 2, passes the turn back, so obviously nothing too exciting going on at the minute from our opponent's end of things. I'm going to play a Tribe Elder, and we're also going to suspend our Search for Tomorrow. So here you see the sort of combination in action that the deck's based around. So opponent pongifies his Young Wolf. The Young Wolf comes back with Undying and evolves the Experiment 1, then a token comes into play and that evolves Experiment 1 as well. So he's now got a 3/3 Experiment 1, a 2/2 Young Wolf and a 3/3 Ape, so it does get out of hand fairly quickly. Attacks, we're going to block the Experiment 1 because that's the one that's got the potential of getting bigger, possibly. In search of a land, go down to 11 after being hit for 5. Avatar the Resolute comes down as a fairly hefty 5/4, and it also gets to evolve the Experiment 1. So yeah, that's not something we wanted to see. Obviously, we've got the Sweltering Suns in hand, so it would be nice to be able to have cleared the board, or at least most of his creatures. As it stands, we can kill 2 of them. We don't draw a land, which is kind of awkward as it stands, because obviously we're trying to build up our mana. I think I end up exploring, trying to find that land, hoping that we'll hit it. But unfortunately we don't, we hit an expedition. So I must have kept those in. And that's kind of where we're at with this. We possibly should have just Sweltering Suns, but we're taking 9 next turn anyway. Even if we do kill the ape and the young wolf. So it's not looking great for us. We're going to play this Tri-Builder out, which should help us survive a little bit longer. So just going to block the Experiment 1, prevent 4 damage, but we're going to take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Down to 11. Search for Tomorrow comes off Suspend. So we're going to be able to hit a 6th land here. Run another Sakura Tri-Builder. And yeah, so I cycle the Sweltering Suns. Obviously we're dead next turn. However, we do have an out in the form of drawing an untapped land. If we drew an untapped land that came into play untapped, we could have played it. Then we'd have 7 lands, and then we could have Scapeshift, cast Scapeshift for the win. So opponent's only on 16 life. So yeah, we weren't as dead as we looked potentially. As I say, if we went on 1 life, that would have actually been the game winner, that land, because we could have fetched up a basic and cast Scapeshift. But unfortunately, we lost 1 point too much of life, and we're not able to combo kill here. So actually, a bit closer than it looked. But yeah, slightly awkward. We didn't draw out land, and maybe I should have Sweltering Suns earlier, maybe. But I think we kind of played to our outs and got as close as we could in this game. And yeah, as I say, cycling the Sweltering Suns, the last resort to find us a card that could win us the game. But unfortunately, we got a fetch rather than a basic or another untapped land, like a Cinderglade. So that was game 2. Okay, here we are with game 3. So this is our opening hand. It's not great, to be honest. Maybe I should have mulliganed this. I obviously like having Sweltering Suns in our opening hand, because that can buy us a lot of time potentially. So I decided to go with it. Put in place a Cloudfin Raptor. And the other evolved creatures. We just play a land and pass the turn, as we're not. Seems to be all we're drawing. I play Strangleroot Geist, which is very annoying, to be quite honest. Obviously means he's going to be able to hit for 3 this turn, and in general is a bit of a pain for us. It's not really the card we want to see. I'd much rather if he played, you know, an Experiment 1 and a Young Wolf or whatever, then we would have obviously been in a much better position. So yeah, a bit frustrating to see that. I decided not to Sweltering Suns there. I could have killed the Cloudfin Raptor that way, and put the Stranglegeist would come back as a 3/2. But I didn't think that was particularly good. I mean, just killing the Cloudfin Raptor with the Sweltering Suns doesn't seem great. But I think in hindsight, and as I say, as this turns out, we probably should have done that. Because this way he's able to use the Pongify on the Strangleroot Geist. And have it come back, and then gets multiple evolve triggers. So yeah, I think it was a mistake. We should have Sweltering Suns the turn earlier, and we'd have been able to kill off the Cloudfin Raptor. And if he wanted to Pongify the Strangleroot Geist, he would have then had to actually kill it. So that was a big mistake on my end. Got a bit greedy, I suppose. So we go down to 10 here. I cycle the Sheltered Thicket here, just trying to look a little bit deeper into our deck. As I say, things are not looking too great for us. We go for the Sweltering Suns now. It would kill the Geist, the Experiment 1, and the Ape, just leaving with a 3/4 as it stands. But unfortunately, our opponent has the Spell Pierce to prevent that, and manages to pick up the win. So yeah, quite an explosive deck. I not having never played against it, I suppose I probably misplayed there. The Swallowing Suns maybe should have come down a turn earlier, and I wasn't sure about Spell Pierce. I hadn't seen it previously, so I wasn't sure if that was a thing that he was playing. Yeah, didn't exactly play out to plan. Kind of a tricky deck. Obviously, the Undying actually makes it quite irritating to deal with, as your removal spells aren't as good as they otherwise would be. Anger of the Gods is obviously good out of the sideboard, but we're only running one copy. I don't expect to run into this matchup very often. I don't think it's an overly popular deck, but I have seen a few lists floating about. Managed to get the job done against us, unfortunately. And probably a slightly tricky matchup. Not entirely sure how best to tackle it. I think Obstinate Baloth, I'm not sure if I brought them in for when I played this matchup, but that probably would have been a good thing to bring in. A lot of its creatures kind of top out at 3 power, so Baloth would have probably been pretty good as a way of keeping us alive. So I think looking at the matchup, we probably should have brought those in if we didn't. Swallowing Suns and Anger of the Gods are kind of the cards you're relying on, but Spell Pierce certainly makes that a little bit more tricky, having to play around that.